You can, yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool, guys. Quite a big day today. Yeah, big numbers coming out in terms of fundamentals, companies. We can already actually see quite some movement in Wall Street. It's dropped about 15 ticks in the last 4 minutes. I'm personally.
Bianca, can you quickly ask everyone to mute themselves, please?
You guys mute yourselves, please.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a lot clearer. Thanks, Neil. I forgot about that. Yeah, we can already see some movement in the market. Wall Street specifically, you can see on the 1 minute chart dropped about 15 ticks in a couple of minutes. Personally, I'm not expecting much, but I could be wrong. It's been quite a flat day thus far already. Also, just looking at the constituents of the Dow Jones, not much going on. Only Microsoft, which is the fourth weight heaviest on the index. I actually expected that drop post-market close yesterday because of the heavy weight on the index. Also, don't forget the Dow Jones is, the weightings are different to the S&P 500 and NASDAQ. They actually take the share price. So whoever has the highest share price, I think it's Goldman Sachs now, would be the heaviest on the index. So it's important to note that when you are trading Wall Street, specifically the Dow Jones. This evening, tomorrow, just to mention, we are looking for the GDP and the Atlanta Fed model. Very curious for that. Was speaking to Neil about it. It's a new measure that's come out, so quite interesting to see how that's going to affect the markets tomorrow. On the 1 hour chart on this side, you can see I've put in value high, value lows, and the point of control. Don't look into that too much because we need to wait until about 3 o'clock to see the real movement on the Dow Jones. So yeah, looking forward to this, guys. Got 3 more minutes. If anyone wants to add anything in, or if I've missed something, please feel free to contribute, even you, Neil. Yeah, guys, I'm a bit nervous, sorry.
I'll just quickly say, Bianca, very informative, thank you. How big a scalp do you reckon we should look for?
About, it can go up to 100 ticks with the Dow Jones. I wouldn't, if it's a trade, I would hold it more than 100 ticks. What I normally do is I will split it. So I normally put about 50 Aussie dollars per point, and that's a scalp. And I will also do the same for a trade. So I split it both ways if I do believe there is going to be some sort of movement up or down, based on what factors have affected the market, also pre-market open. Yeah, so the last, oh, sorry, there's a bit of noise, guys. Whoever hasn't muted themselves, if you could please mute yourself. The last couple of weeks, I would say actually for the whole of April, hasn't been much movement into the open. So fingers crossed we get some action.
You've also got a couple of people trying to get in.
Really?
Bianca. Yeah. No, if they're late, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I can't. I have nothing's popped up on the screen as yet.
Real quick, I just want to chat to you about that.
Oh, here we go. I'm going to admit everyone. Sorry.
How do you know about that?
You know, I've got a lot of friends back in Wall Street.
Guys, if you can please mute yourself so everyone can hear. I'll just mute you all. Cool. Thank you. Thanks, guys. So yeah, let's wait and see. I normally, on my actual trading account, I do have a tab as well about around here, just telling me the main, like I said, the main companies that do make up the Dow Jones, because I do look at that a lot alongside when I do trade. Yeah, it already looks like something's happening, moving quite a bit in this area. I'm going to change this to 15 minutes so it's a bit clearer for all of us to see. That's vicious movement. It's quite a turnout, Neil. Wasn't expecting that. I thought it was like 5 to 10 people.
They're all waiting for the song.
Yeah, guys, Wall Street started. That's definitely for me, clear price action. Would be a sell, even if you change this to 10 seconds, which I normally do as well. A little bit more intimidating, but it's a lot clearer to see. I would have gone short, but let's see what happens. Yes.
Nice, just kind of playing straight around, isn't it?
Yeah. Very quick
Oh.
movement that. I don't believe that might not hold this area here, because there are three companies dipping below over 2%, but let's see if that holds up.
I think, as we saw this morning, it's a very messy opening at the moment.
Yeah. That I would, if you did go down, get on that short, I would have taken that. But let's see. Yeah, it's dropping now. The thing is, also Goldman Sachs is up today, and the banks are doing well, and Goldman does have quite a big heavy weight on the Dow Jones. So let's see. But there we go, gone down. Yeah, that's definitely a scalp to get into, and a trade actually. A good most of you probably know this, but also it's good to look at a chart zoomed out on maybe like 4 hours, just to see the points of resistance and support too. Yeah. Very clear price action that.
I think it'll go further, but I've just got to keep myself.
I reckon if you got in around here, this area would have been a good area to get into.
Bianca, maybe money. Yeah.
Yay, that's what I like to hear, guys. It's good news. Not totally useless, Neil, promise. Yeah, guys, that's brilliant. That's already 80 ticks. If you did go short, well done to everyone.
Into a trade.
I think the question you said before, you'd scalp that, and also, like you said a minute ago, you now turn this into a trade.
Yeah, I would have placed two positions. So I would have sold twice, press this button twice, and one of them would have nearly been. I would have kept it going though, Neil. Look at that drop. That's insane. That's already more than 80 ticks. It's brilliant.
I think on the back of that, we're going to have to invite you back.
No ways. But I'm happy to. I thought it'd be a lot more intimidating, but it's really not too bad. I would be careful about this area over here. This area here, just in case it bounces back up. But let's see what happens as the day goes on. I can see the companies are slowly. Oh, another thing which is really good. Jerry actually gave this link to me, slickcharts.com. It gives you the three indices, S&P, NASDAQ, and Dow Jones, and who has the heaviest weighting and what companies affected the most. It's quite a good tool to use during the fundamental week as well. Just like a little tip, little tip for you guys. Yeah, would have held that trade, essentially, the trade and the scalp. I probably would have closed the scalp around here. 80 to 100 ticks is normally my target for a scalp.
I mean, the quick question to ask here is, on your trade, obviously you're taking a scalp, we've taken the money, which I have, thank you very much. On your trade now, where would you move your stop to? So
I normally look at, actually, Neil, you taught me this. I would look at Trader Made to see if I would adjust my stops. Normally I do Neil probably doesn't appreciate this, but I do a 1 to 2 profit take. I don't do 1 to 3 as a lot of people do, just because the Dow Jones is very volatile. And when I do trade it, I am looking at my screen and I do adjust it accordingly. So I would put normally a 210 tick profit, and I would put about 90 to 100 tick stop loss. Because I think if it goes past 100 ticks, the direction is definitely going to change. But obviously that's also affected by news as well. Yeah, there we go, dropping. Oh, this would be a great trade. Great, I was going to swear, but great trade. Great trade. Yeah, that would be my 10 minutes for the day. My second trade of the day done, scalp. I would save my bullets now for the evening, for the Feds and for Biden tomorrow morning. This is quite, you can see here, this is quite like a little bit of a range of an area, this part here. So let's see what happens. It could get stuck, but we essentially might need a catalyst to push it higher or lower. but be careful of this area, and definitely use TraderMade for your supports and for your resistances as well. It's a good tool to use alongside. Yeah.
Nah, not really. 850.
Yeah, there we go. Gonna drop more, I reckon. Because already you could see the weakness post-market hours yesterday. I think the Dow Jones had dropped 100 ticks in about 4 minutes post-market close yesterday. So if you did go long, not a good idea based on Google's, that's NASDAQ, never mind. Oh, another thing, another tip, guys, the FANG index. The FANGs are reporting, so it's a good one. If your broker does allow you to trade, quite useful looking at this index, because Apple is releasing earnings today. They are the heaviest on that specific index. Yeah, and this was actually up till about 50 ticks today. It's dropped, but I think Alphabet, if they do continue to push higher, will push it higher. NASDAQ, I wouldn't really touch because of the bond yields. I would wait until the Fed speak and see what happens with that after. But I think that's purely down.
It's still long.
That's purely down to the yields. It being in the negative.
No, I haven't.
Their kind of reports yesterday were quite decent.
Short, didn't it?
Yeah. That's my own sort of way of trading at 2:30.
I think fantastic. I mean, it's the same thing as Bianca realizes that obviously this morning at 8 o'clock, there was no trade. And I think we mentioned the word this morning, being patient, and obviously being patient and waiting till the 2:30 and maybe just after 2:30. And Bianca said we did see some price action, not straight away, but then it dropped. And I think when it did drop around about the figure, that was easy at price action to see. And I think that the important thing there was that, as Bianca said, there was no reason whatsoever to buy it for those 3-4 minutes because it was just one-way traffic. And that's the key. That's why we like trading the 2:30s.
There's also, like, I think I don't know if I'm pronouncing correctly, but Amgen, they released their earnings yesterday as well, and they down 6%, and they the 6th heaviest on the Dow Jones. So that's also probably a reason why the Dow Jones is dropping today. And after that, Boeing as well. Boeing's results quite disappointing. That's down nearly just over 2%. Yeah. So those fundamentals do come into play at this time of the year. Definitely. I
mean, finally, quickly, I mean, your view is that coming into 7 o'clock, obviously the Fed decision interest rates, and obviously the minutes that come out at 7 p.m., which are obviously are very important. Would you be flat into that?
Yeah, definitely. You have to be flat into that on all fronts, on the US dollar and on indices. You actually don't know what Powell will throw out there. I mean, he could be the same and just use the word patient as he's always using, you know, that he could go back and talk about how they will continue to monitor inflation. You know, they wanted to be at their target for at least a year before, you know, they do decide to do anything about the yields. So we also need to look out for the word taper, what's happening with that. There's quite a few bits and bobs that could be mentioned. So it's just best to be flat, because as we've seen in the past, I think last time when Powell spoke, I think the NASDAQ dropped something like 400 ticks in a couple of minutes. So your account would be wiped out if you didn't have risk management. So I think it's very important to wait and see what the big boys do, because at the end, you don't compete against them, you compete with them. That's quite important. Yeah. He might also talk about adjusting the bond buying. We've seen that being brought up with Japan, with Europe. So yeah, let's see what happens. It is quite a lot to look forward to. Or he could just say, wait till the June meeting, you know, wait and see, I suppose. It all depends on what he says today. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Shall we wrap it up there?
Yeah.
Unless anyone wants to ask Bianca any questions.
When you coming on again?
Oh,
yeah, that's a very good question. I think that
can we be having this more often?
There we are. Thank you, Bianca. There's a congratulations from everyone. And again, thank you very much. Obviously, we had Matthew do it before and a few others. It does take a bit of courage to come on. And obviously, Bianca succeeded very well. So again, brilliant, Bianca. And I'll speak to you later.
Yeah, have a good one, guys. Happy trading.
Thank you, Bianca.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Bianca.
Cheers, babe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No worries, guys.